All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the finals for the OlimoLeague. People were asking, is Salvation the underdog? Technically, I'd say yes. By the popular votes, or I guess bets here on the channel, Salvation is behind Gumiho by 2,000 partoofs, so about 4,000 to 7,000 actually. So I can't do math. 3,000. So definitely the underdog currently winning the series, but it is best of 5. This could be the last game. Maybe Gumiho turns it around. We'll have to see. Spawning in the top left corner of the map, going with an early gas, though. This guy looking to come back into the series. It is the blue Terran player, Gumiho.
Never right as the red Terran. It's MVP's Salvation.
If you need to stop casting to draw that picture right now, I would forgive you.
It's like a superhero comic.
I just like as soon as we're supposed to keep it together for this last one, Zombie Grove. Come on.
No, it's like, I don't know, like Young hasn't like cleaned his room in like a couple like months or whatever, and like Olivia bursts in with a freeze. It's like Ollie Molly to the rescue.
Dude, I would love to if there's like some sort of like Karate Kid thing where it's like to get better at StarCraft and win WCS, you know, you gotta learn to clean your room, like wax on, wax off. Okay. But Gumiho taking that earlier gas doesn't set him super far ahead of his opponent, but Salvation kind of matching him at the same time. Similar builds. Again, not too surprising. Whether you take your gas in like 11, 13, 15, or onwards, it doesn't really matter because a lot of the times you'll see similar builds out of Terran players. Just that's where the state of the game is right now. The reason we brought up the 3 racks open in the last game was because it was so out of the ordinary to see that come out so quickly. So with both players going Starport, again, it's around now where it starts branching off. Maybe one player goes Banshee, the other goes for the Medevac. I do like that Salvation is once again put his depots at the front of the ramp. This keeps those Hellions from running by and automatically winning the game.
I feel like any Terran who does this is automatically like good in our books. Just
yeah. Well, I think it's because we've seen so many people lose to this move, right? Like the 7 Marine, 3 Hellion, 4 Hellion run by. It's not something that should win the game as often as it does, but it does quite frequently. That's why 1-1-1s became so popular again.
It is actually, this time we have the exact same build. We've seen a little bit of crisscross as one person goes for Banshee and one person doesn't. And of course, the last time Salvation got a very early CC, but this is actually the exact same build. Merry-Go-Round just always seems to play into these really weird TVTs, whether it is the exact same build versus each other or just 2 different builds that just attack at the same time. And we have this really weird, like, well, who takes less damage? Is your Micro on at the fence or on the offense?
Yeah, we also see some instances too where, like, Gumiho may find that he can't walk up this ramp, but there's usually quite a bit of dead space you can elevator up, so to speak. But I love that Salvation put a depot off to the side. Like, Gumiho's got all this dead space. Salvation can see every bit of his base.
It looks like Salvation figured out what Gumiho was doing, and Gumiho didn't.
I would love this just like he's a little bit later is all.
I don't know. I feel like because he saw the same Hellion, like in the same like unit count when they attacked,
oh, this
he figured he was the one who's going to be the defender.
The Vikings can be huge for picking off that medevac and all, but like it can also land and really change the course of this battle.
Oh, I don't know about pushing down here.
I actually like that a lot. The Hellions take a good start to that fight, but they line up pretty poorly at the end. However, they're too low to continue pushing, and Salvation comes out ahead, just barely.
Yeah, that almost looked bad, but he does come out a little ahead. Gumiho does throw down a command center. Now this would have been a poor choice, but of course Salvation doesn't have tanks on the way. Doesn't even have a Banshee on the way, so Gumiho most likely will get away with this, and his production will carry over to defend against whatever Salvation is dropping with. What is this? Medevac? Yeah, 4 Marines. Yeah, that's 2 Hellions to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, all you gotta do is really start picking up 1 or 2 SCVs. I mean, Gumiho's already technically behind in the SCV count. It's the small amount of harass that sometimes matters the most. Gets Medevac out alive, though, is gotta be the #1 priority. Hell, even picking off that 1 low Hellion would probably have been worth dropping, but yeah, he's gonna try and get out of here.
Salvation going into bio. Unexpected. Oh.
I thought he was gonna drag and drop the Marines, but never mind.
Yeah, it just died. No problem. Gumiho, you think he's gonna go mech again? So far, it hasn't really worked out for him. I mean, you could argue it's because of the beginnings haven't worked out for him.
Yeah.
Salvation seems to be pretty handy at this whole multitasking thing.
I like how you say it's so condescending. Like, Multitasking.
Ugh,
Like he thinks
players that are
he's so good.
with high APM. Jesus.
Alright, this tank's actually really solid for the defense. Gumiho going massively into Vikings and Hellions like this. I wouldn't be surprised if this was. Yup. Bam. Mech once again.
Yeah. Now, Merry-Go-Round is not the easiest map. I mean, there's a reason that it's kind of hard for, say, Protoss, is that, well, they kind of have to depend on doing something on 2 base. Otherwise, the 3rd base is very difficult to take. No matter what Gumiho takes, too, like, maybe you could argue against Zerg if you take the one to the south of Gumiho's base. Like, you know, they have to wrap around with Lings or whatever, but for Salvation, Medivacs, they're pretty fast. They go anywhere. They fly. If he takes the one below him or the one to the, you know, right next to his main, both are going to have a good concave and be kind of far away from his main army.
Well, decent scan out of Gumiho. Gets to see that his opponent is in fact going bio as well. I mean, I think it was kind of assumed, but confirming is always a nice thing to see. But on top of that, you saw the Raven with a couple of Vikings. You know, sometimes we see Terran players not even invest in the Vikings at all, and sometimes we'll actually see them sneak out like 5 and try and hide them deliberately. So for Gumiho's sake, he at least has an idea of what he's going to be fighting in the air, which is kind of nice. Salvation, on the other hand, he already saw 2 Vikings, so he doesn't need to scan or catch any of this, but they do need to be northwards. 4 Hellions coming. I don't think this will be that bad. There's a tank here as well, but oh dear. He's going to take some SCV losses.
The Marine? No. Yeah, maybe. They might be able to pull the SCVs into the army. That's kind of what he does. This is a 2 or 3 right there. And those are the medevac. Gumiho, I was going to bring up the fact that he invested into 2 more medevacs, actually. And I thought that was kind of weird. If you're going to start going for the, you know, the Hellbat drop composition, I feel like you could wait a little longer to get the medevacs, you know, put more into the tank production, but he actually doesn't have that much production at all. Only finishing up his 2nd factory, not even a 3rd one.
Well, the nice thing about Hellbats is they don't really give an F. Oh dear, I forgot that this would happen. Sorry about this, guys. The OlimoLeague, but I forgot to turn my thing off. Oops. Anyways, Hellbats, they don't really care what they're fighting because they've just got a lot of health. They deal pretty good damage against anything they connect to.
Whoa!
He's gonna win this air battle without question. The Vikings try and land, but this is not. I don't know how well it's going to work for Salvation. 3 tanks is a lot of tanks, but here comes that drop. Yeah, on top of them directly. There's not enough cover. Even the Vikings land too. Salvation's tanks are like, what do I shoot? What do I do? What do I do?
It doesn't end up the worst trade ever.
No, he actually kills quite a few of the Vikings for it too, which is nice. But
yeah, a couple of the Vikings, you know, a lot of the Hellions, and Gumiho really can't push and do a lot of damage with just Hellions. I mean, he might be able to take down a good chunk of Marines that otherwise would not be, well, killed, but
it's looking pretty good for Gumiho, though, because, I mean, Salvation's taking this command center on Logan. He's going to have to lift this. There's no way this stays here.
Ooh, hopefully he doesn't die before he...
He's going to have to cancel it. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
It can hold its own for a long time. Maybe he'll try and save it.
Actually, that could work out, too, because, like, if there's, like, 7 Hellbats wasting their time on that one thing, he can fight a smaller army off to the left, but... Yeah, loaded up, drag, dropped, and this time Blue Flame ready to go. This is looking way better for Gumiho, because right now Salvation just doesn't have the units to deal with this. He's spread. It's nice, but this is too much.
Where's the stim? Oh, stim isn't done. Huh. I was like, what?
It's, seconds from, but...
Yeah,
I think Gumiho brings us back.
It looks like it. The Hellbat drops, the Vikings only being on 2 base as well. You know, Salvation might have been expecting Gumiho to actually play a more macro-oriented game like that game on Deadwing. So probably wasn't expecting as much on the field as Gumiho had.
Yeah, I like getting aggressive. I like getting aggressive like that. That was good.